This is the story of how one of television's most iconic action stars ended up in handcuffs again at age 59, this time for allegedly assaulting a ride-share driver in Hollywood. Kiefer Sutherland was arrested on January 13, 2026, charged with felony criminal threats after an incident that put him back in a familiar position, facing serious legal consequences. For fans who grew up watching Jack Bauer save the world every week on 24, this latest arrest is jarring. But for anyone who's followed Sutherland's career beyond the screen, it's part of a decades-long pattern that's impossible to ignore. Just after midnight on Monday, January 13, 2026, LAPD officers responded to a call near Sunset Boulevard and Fairfax Avenue in Hollywood. The call was about an assault involving a ride-share driver. According to LAPD's official statement, Kiefer Sutherland entered a ride-share vehicle, physically assaulted the driver, and made criminal threats toward the driver. Sutherland was arrested at the scene on suspicion of felony criminal threats, a violation of California Penal Code Section 422. This isn't a minor charge. It means prosecutors believe he threatened someone in a way that made them fear for their safety. Neither Sutherland nor the driver sustained injuries requiring immediate medical treatment. Bail was set at $50,000. He posted bail and was released at 11:30 p.m. that same Monday, less than 24 hours after his arrest. His court date is scheduled for February 2, 2026, in Los Angeles County Superior Court. That's all the verified information we have. Representatives for Sutherland haven't commented. We don't know which rideshare company was involved. We don't know what triggered the altercation. We don't know what the alleged threats were. And we don't know if alcohol was involved, though given Sutherland's history, that's a question many are asking. Because this isn't Kiefer Sutherland's first run-in with law enforcement. Not even close. Before diving into his legal history, let's establish who we're talking about. Kiefer Sutherland was born December 21, 1966. British-born, raised in Canada. His father was Donald Sutherland, one of film's most respected actors with nearly 150 film credits. You know him from MAS*H, Ordinary People, and The Hunger Games franchise. Donald passed away June 20, 2024, at age 88. Kiefer started young. Stand By Me, in 1986. The Lost Boys, in 1987, where he became a teen idol playing a vampire. Young Guns, in 1988. Flatliners, in 1990. A Few Good Men, in 1992. But everything changed in 2001 with 24. The show ran from 2001 to 2010, with a revival in 2014. Kiefer played Jack Bauer, a counter-terrorist agent saving America from catastrophic threats in real-time 24-hour formats. The show was revolutionary, and his performance was electric. He won one Emmy in 2006 after 4 previous nominations. He also won a Golden Globe and 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards. In 2006, he signed a $40 million contract for 3 seasons, making him the highest-earning actor on television. Forbes ranked him number 68 on their Celebrity 100 list that year with $23 million in earnings. After 24, he starred in Designated Survivor as President Tom Kirkman. He's continued working steadily and even launched a music career, releasing albums in 2016 and 2022, and debuting at the Grand Ole Opry. By every measure, Kiefer Sutherland is accomplished and talented. And yet, throughout his entire career, he's repeatedly found himself in legal trouble. Between 1989 and 2007, Kiefer Sutherland was arrested for driving under the influence 4 separate times. 4. 1989, first DUI arrest. Also charged with carrying a concealed weapon. Pleaded no contest to alcohol-related reckless driving. Weapons charges dropped. Received probation. 1993, second DUI. Pleaded no contest. Performed over 200 hours of community service instead of 12 days in jail. 3 years probation. 2004, third DUI. Pleaded no contest to driving with blood alcohol above 0.08. Sentenced to 5 years probation, $500 fine, 50 hours community service, and alcohol treatment program. 2007, fourth DUI after leaving a Hollywood party. Failed field sobriety test. But here's the critical part, this violated his 2004 probation. He pleaded no contest and was sentenced to 48 days in jail. 30 days for the DUI, plus 18 for the probation violation. He served the full time. For DUI arrests over 18 years. That's not a mistake, that's a pattern. The DUIs aren't the only violent incidents. In May 2009, something happened that led to assault charges and a broken nose. Early Tuesday morning, around 2 a.m., at the Mercer Hotel nightclub in Manhattan. An after-party for the Met Gala. High-profile event full of celebrities and fashion insiders. Kiefer Sutherland allegedly head-butted fashion designer Jack McCullough, co-founder of Proenza Schuller. McCullough's nose was broken in 3 places. Required surgery. Had to be reset. Now here's where it gets messy, conflicting accounts. McCullough's rep called it a vicious, violent, unprovoked assault. Some reports claimed Sutherland thought McCullough pushed Brooke Shields. Shields' rep denied anything happened to her. One witness said Sutherland was drunk and got accidentally bumped. Another said McCullough walked in to order a drink and got headbutt, for no identifiable reason. Earlier that evening, witnesses saw Sutherland at another hotel bar, running around wearing a giant feather boa and acting totally crazy, dancing feverishly, seemed to be quite intoxicated. Sutherland was charged with third-degree assault, a misdemeanor. But charges were dropped in July 2009 because McCullough wouldn't cooperate with prosecutors. Both issued statements. Sutherland: I am sorry about what happened that night and sincerely regret that Mr. McCullough was injured. McCullough: I appreciate Mr. Sutherland's statement and wish him well. Case closed legally. But another data point in a troubling pattern that in 2016, Kiefer gave an interview to Jess Cagle from People magazine. When asked about giving up alcohol, his response is revealing. I have, at times, for stretches of time. But at some point, I've made a decision, right or wrong, for myself that I would rather work really hard so I could still have some of those times than to just simply stop. That's a choice I've made and I live with that choice. Read that again. He's saying, I know alcohol's been a problem. I know I've been arrested multiple times and served jail time. But I'd rather work extremely hard so I can continue drinking occasionally than give it up entirely. That's his choice. He acknowledges it might be wrong, but it's the choice he's made. Now, we don't know if alcohol was involved in the January 2026 incident. No sources report it. The police statement doesn't mention it. But given 4 DUI arrests and a head-butting incident involving heavy drinking, people are going to wonder. Let's look at the timeline. 1989, first DUI. 1993, second DUI. 2004, third DUI. 2007, fourth DUI, serves 48 days in jail. 2009, head-butting incident, charges dropped. 2026, arrested for alleged assault and criminal threats. 6 separate law enforcement incidents over 37 years. This isn't one bad night. This is a pattern spanning 4 decades. And here's what's striking, throughout this period, Sutherland remained professionally successful. Won major awards. Highest paid TV actor. Inducted into halls of fame. Music career. Consistent work at the highest levels. He's managed to maintain professional excellence while repeatedly running into legal trouble personally. That's rare. Usually patterns like this destroy careers. But Sutherland has compartmentalized in a way that's almost impressive, if it weren't so troubling that I want to briefly touch on Kiefer's relationship with his father, Donald. Donald Sutherland passed away June 20, 2024, at 88 from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Kiefer's tribute on X: with a heavy heart, I tell you that my father, Donald Sutherland, has passed away. I personally think one of the most important actors in the history of film. Never daunted by a role, good, bad or ugly. He loved what he did and did what he loved, and one can never ask for more than that. A life well lived. Beautiful tribute. And worth noting, Donald had a nearly flawless career. No scandals. No arrests. No destructive patterns. Universally respected. Nearly 150 films. Emmy and Golden Globe winner. Honorary Oscar in 2017. In 2016, Kiefer and Donald co-starred in Forsaken, the first time they'd shared a scene on screen together despite both being actors their entire lives. Growing up as Donald Sutherland's son must have been complicated. Access and opportunity most actors never get. But constantly compared to one of the greatest actors of all time. Living in a massive shadow. The contrast between the father's dignified career and the son's repeated legal troubles is impossible to ignore. Kiefer Sutherland appears in court February 2, 2026. He's charged with felony criminal threats. Investigation ongoing. In California, felony criminal threats can carry up to 3 years in state prison if convicted. Also fines, probation, restraining orders, permanent criminal record affecting employment and housing. Charges can be reduced or dropped. Plea deals negotiated. We've seen that with the 2009 head-butting incident. But this is different. This involves a ride-share driver allegedly assaulted while working. Not a celebrity-on-celebrity altercation at a private party. Someone just doing their job. And because it's ride-share, there are complications. Companies like Uber and Lyft have policies, insurance, legal teams. There may be dash cam footage. GPS data showing exactly where and when. Audio recordings. Modern technology makes incidents like this harder to dispute than 20 years ago. We don't know if prosecutors will pursue this aggressively or offer a favorable plea deal. Sutherland has resources and top legal representation. But he also has a documented history, which cuts the other way. Prosecutors might see 4 DUIs and a previous assault and decide this is someone who hasn't learned from consequences. February 2 will indicate which direction this heads. That we live in a culture with a complicated relationship with celebrity accountability. We celebrate actors like Sutherland for their talent. Jack Bauer was a hero. A protector. But Kiefer Sutherland isn't Jack Bauer. He's a real person with real issues who has repeatedly made choices that hurt others. 4 DUIs mean 4 times behind the wheel intoxicated, risking everyone on the road. The headbutting left someone with a broken nose requiring surgery. Now an alleged assault on someone just trying to earn a living. At what point do we stop separating art from artist? When does someone's pattern become disqualifying, even if they're talented? I don't have the answer. Different people draw that line differently. Some can watch 24 without thinking about Sutherland's personal life. Others can't anymore. But it's worth asking, what responsibility do we as an audience have? What responsibility does the industry have? What responsibility does Sutherland himself have? In 2016, he said he'd chosen to keep drinking rather than stop, and he lives with that choice. Fine. That's his choice for himself. But when that choice affects others, when it leads to assaults, injuries, broken noses, allegedly threatened drivers, it stops being just personal. Before wrapping up, let me be clear about what we don't know. We don't know what happened in that ride-share vehicle January 13th. What was said? Who initiated the confrontation? If there were witnesses or video evidence. If alcohol was involved. We don't know Sutherland's side, his representatives haven't commented. We don't know what the alleged criminal threats were. The actual words or context. We don't know if he's dealing with personal issues related to his father's death in 2024. Grief manifests in unexpected ways. We don't know if there are mental health or addiction issues we're unaware of. While I've laid out the pattern and verified facts, this specific incident is still under investigation. Sutherland deserves due process. The driver's account deserves to be heard and taken seriously. We should wait for more information before final judgments. This is how Kiefer Sutherland, at 59, found himself arrested again, this time for allegedly assaulting a ride-share driver and making criminal threats. The story becomes more troubling with full context. 4 DUI arrests spanning 2 decades. A headbutting leaving someone with a broken nose. Public acknowledgement he's chosen to continue drinking despite knowing it might be wrong. And now this. Kiefer Sutherland is immensely talented. His work on 24 alone secures his place in television history. His performances in Stand By Me, The Lost Boys, and A Few Good Men are cultural touchstones for multiple generations. But talent doesn't excuse behavior. Success doesn't erase consequences. And at some point, a pattern becomes impossible to ignore. On February 2, 2026, Kiefer Sutherland will appear in court. The legal system will proceed. Maybe there'll be a plea deal. Maybe charges reduced or dropped. Maybe we'll learn information that changes our understanding. But regardless of legal outcome, this moment forces an uncomfortable truth. One of television's greatest action heroes has spent decades struggling with issues that repeatedly put others at risk. Jack Bauer always saved the day. Kiefer Sutherland's story is more complicated. Behind every arrest, every charge, every proceeding are real people affected. A ride-share driver allegedly assaulted while working. A designer who had his nose broken. Other drivers on the road during those 4 DUIs. The court date is February 2. Until then, we wait for more information and hope that whatever happened that night, justice is served for everyone involved. That's where this story stands. And that's all we know for certain. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.